What if I told you that some of the most innovative golf equipment ever created never made it to market? Or that clubs that could add 30 yards to your drives and help you putt like a pro were deemed too powerful for the game? The history of golf is filled with equipment that crossed the line between innovation and unfair advantage. From drivers that sound like a gunshot to balls that fly straighter than an arrow, the USGA and R&A have been playing whack-a-mole with golf technology for decades. In this video, I'll break down every major banned golf equipment and exactly why governing bodies outlawed them. These aren't just clubs and balls. They're the forbidden fruits of golf that threaten to change the game forever. And the most shocking part? Some of them might be sitting in your garage right now. Long putters and anchored putting. For decades, long putters were golf's remedy for the yips, those unexplainable twitches that turn three-footers into nightmares. Players like Bernhard Langer, Adam Scott, and Keegan Bradley anchored these extra-long putters against their chest, sternum, or chin, creating a pendulum-like stroke that eliminated hand and wrist movement. The technique gained mainstream attention when Keegan Bradley won the 2011 PGA Championship using a belly putter, when Webb Simpson and Ernie Els followed with major victories using anchored putters in 2012, alarm bells rang at USGA headquarters. In 2016, Rule 14-1B went into effect, prohibiting anchoring any club against your body during a stroke. Importantly, the rule didn't ban long putters themselves, just the anchoring technique. Players like Adam Scott adapted by holding the long putter slightly away from their body, while others abandoned them entirely. The ban created significant controversy, with many arguing that anchored putting didn't guarantee success. It just offered an alternative method. Critics pointed out that no anchored putter user had dominated the game, and the technique had been around for decades without ruining golf. Proponents of the ban argued that putting should involve a free-swinging motion with inherent challenges and nerves. USGA Executive Director Mike Davis stated, "Anchoring is not part of the traditional game of golf. It's not a free-swinging motion." The impact was immediate. Many players who had relied on anchored putting saw their performance decline, particularly on the Champions Tour where the technique had been most prevalent. Square grooves. In 2010, the USGA effectively banned square grooves, the sharp-edged, box-shaped grooves that had become popular in wedges and short irons. These grooves created more spin, especially from the rough, allowing players to stop the ball quickly on the green, even from poor lies. Ping Eye2 wedges, introduced in the 1980s, were the first major implementation of square groove technology. The USGA initially banned them in 1990, but Ping sued and reached a settlement that grandfathered in existing I2 clubs. This created the bizarre situation in 2010 when Phil Mickelson and other pros began using 20-year-old Ping Eye2 wedges to circumvent the new groove rules. The 2010 rule change didn't technically ban square grooves, but instead limited groove volume and edge sharpness. The result was the same. Modern wedges had to use V-shaped or rounded grooves that produced less spin from the rough. The USGA's rationale was straightforward. Square grooves reduced the penalty for missing fairways. Data showed that approach shot accuracy from the rough had improved dramatically, diminishing the importance of driving accuracy. By limiting groove technology, they hoped to restore the premium on finding fairways. The impact was significant. Players had to adjust their strategies, particularly in major championships where rough is typically thicker. Some players, like Tiger Woods, had to completely change their equipment and practice routines to adapt to the new reality. Adjustable clubs during rounds. In 2012, the USGA banned the adjustment of clubs during a round of golf. This rule targeted the growing trend of adjustable drivers, fairway woods, and hybrids that allowed players to change loft, lie angle, and weight distribution. TaylorMade's R11 driver, released in 2011, exemplified this technology with its adjustable sole plate, movable weights, and adjustable hosel. A player could theoretically adjust their driver to promote a draw on dogleg left holes and a fade on dogleg right holes, all during the same round. The USGA didn't ban adjustable clubs entirely, they just prohibited adjusting them during a round. You can still adjust your driver before teeing off, but once the round begins, the configuration must remain unchanged. The rationale was that adjusting clubs during a round violated the principle that players should succeed based on skill rather than equipment manipulation. It also addressed pace of play concerns, as mid-round adjustments could potentially slow down the game. If you're finding this breakdown of banned equipment fascinating, you're going to love what's coming next on this channel. I'm working on a series exposing the secret equipment pros use that's technically legal, but pushes the absolute limits of the rules. Hit that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications so you don't miss it when it drops. These are the clubs and design balls that give tour players an edge that most amateurs don't even know exists. Now, let's get back to more banned equipment that changed golf forever. Spring-like effect in the CT test. Perhaps the most significant equipment regulation in modern golf history came in 1998 when the USGA established limits on the spring-like effect of driver faces. As titanium drivers evolved, manufacturers created increasingly thinner faces that would flex upon impact and then spring back, essentially acting like a trampoline for the golf ball. The USGA developed the Coefficient of Restitution (COR) test, which measured how much energy was transferred from the club to the ball. The limit was set at 0.83, meaning no more than 83% of energy could be returned to the ball. This was later replaced by the Characteristic Time (CT) test, which measures how long a pendulum remains in contact with the club face, a proxy for face flexibility. Callaway's ERC2 driver became the poster child for this controversy when it was released in 2000. The club exceeded COR limits and was declared non-conforming in the United States, though it was legal under R&A rules, creating a brief period of different rules between the US and the rest of the world. Even golf legend Arnold Palmer got involved in the controversy, endorsing the non-conforming ERC2 and arguing that different rules should exist for professionals and amateurs. This created significant backlash from traditionalists who believed in a unified set of rules. The spring-like effect limitations have fundamentally shaped modern driver design. Manufacturers now focus on other ways to increase distance, such as aerodynamics, weight distribution, and moment of inertia, while keeping the face flexibility within legal limits. Polara self-correcting golf ball. The Polara golf ball, introduced in the 1970s, featured an asymmetrical dimple pattern designed to reduce hooks and slices by up to 75%. The ball's design included shallower dimples around its equator and deeper dimples at the poles, creating aerodynamic properties that minimized side spin. For the average golfer plagued by slices, the Polara offered a revolutionary solution. Simply line up the ball with the arrow pointing toward the target, and your slice would be dramatically reduced. Tests showed the ball could keep shots up to 100 yards straighter than conventional balls. The USGA banned the Polara almost immediately, establishing the symmetry rule that requires golf balls to be designed with consistent aerodynamic properties, regardless of how they're oriented. This rule remains in effect today and is why all conforming golf balls have symmetrical dimple patterns. Polara still manufactures non-conforming golf balls for recreational players who prioritize enjoyment over strict rule adherence. Their marketing openly acknowledges the balls don't conform to USGA rules but promises the straightest ball on earth. The ban highlights the USGA's philosophy that a player's skill, not equipment technology, should determine the ball's flight. Allowing self-correcting balls would fundamentally change the game by removing much of the challenge of controlling ball flight. Oversized club heads. In 2004, the USGA limited driver volume to 460 cubic centimeters, ending the rapid expansion of driver heads that had characterized the previous decade. Before this rule, manufacturers were producing increasingly larger drivers, with some prototypes approaching 500 cc. Callaway's C4 driver, standing for Composite Compression, Conformance, and Calibration, was one of the largest pre-rule drivers at 450 cubic centimeters. Its massive size and distinctive sound, a loud crack that echoed across fairways, made it instantly recognizable. The limitation on head size was implemented primarily for aesthetic reasons rather than performance concerns. The USGA felt that excessively large club heads would alter the traditional look of the game and potentially create an arms race of increasingly bulbous drivers. Despite the 460 cubic centimeter limit, modern drivers at this maximum size still offer substantial forgiveness and distance compared to the smaller heads of previous eras. Manufacturers have become adept at optimizing weight distribution and face technology within the size constraints. U-grooves and the Ping Eye2 controversy. The Ping Eye2 irons, designed by Karsten Solheim in the 1980s, featured innovative U-shaped grooves that increase spin, particularly from the rough. The USGA initially banned these grooves in 1990, but Ping sued for restraint of trade. The resulting legal settlement allowed existing Ping Eye2 clubs to remain legal for play, while establishing new standards for future club production. This created a loophole that came to a head in 2010 when the new groove rules took effect. Several PGA Tour players, including Phil Mickelson and John Daly, began using 20-year-old Ping Eye2 wedges that were technically legal due to the settlement, but violated the spirit of the new groove regulations. This created significant controversy, with some players accusing their colleagues of cheating. The situation was finally resolved when Ping chairman John Solheim voluntarily waived the company's rights under the settlement, allowing the USGA to declare pre-1990 Ping Eye2 wedges non-conforming. This gentleman's agreement effectively closed the loophole and ended one of golf's most contentious equipment controversies. The history of banned golf equipment reveals the constant tension between innovation and tradition. While these technologies promised straighter drives, more spin, and lower scores, they threatened to fundamentally change what skills the game rewards. The USGA and R&A have consistently chosen to preserve golf's traditional challenges over technological shortcuts. As USGA Technical Director Frank Thomas bluntly put it, "We want you to buy a better player, not a better game." For recreational golfers, many of these banned technologies remain available for casual play. But for those chasing a legitimate handicap or competition success, the rules remain clear. Skill, not technology, should determine who wins and loses. Now that you know about the equipment that's been banned from golf, you might be wondering about the most controversial rulings that have affected players using legal equipment. Click right here to watch my breakdown of the most expensive golf mistakes ever made, where I analyze the costliest rules violations and mental errors in golf history. Hit subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video.